A couple things to start out. Really pretty pleased with the training camp process, with what we asked of them to do, how they came through it. I thought it was a hard training camp, which was by design, and I think we're a better team for it at the end of it. Really appreciative of the work that the team has put in. A lot of guys, like I talked about last night, a lot of guys put in a lot of work that unfortunately might not be able to be here to see the fruition of some of it. But I'm appreciative of all their efforts they put in and what we've gotten accomplished over the course of training camp. So excited about that. Excited to get going. Not at all looking forward to the next couple of days, but part of the process here. And looking forward to getting our roster set for the time being and getting ready to go play Denver. So we're on to the real thing.
Brian, you mentioned for the time being, you guys have the top spot on the waiver wire with the cuts deadline on Tuesday. How much flexibility might there be at the bottom of this roster?
Well, there's the benefit of being in number one in the waiver claim is that you got your first crack at anybody you think upgrades your roster. So I know Mike and his crew have been hard at work. They've watched every player available in the preseason, watched every preseason game of all 31 other teams, and they got a really good feel for what's out there. And you never know what potentially is going to shake free or not shake free, and so you do due diligence and you're ready for it when it comes. There's going to be opportunities to claim some players. I think that'll help us, and that'll be a part of the ongoing process kind of through Tuesday to make sure we can try to find the best 53.
Regarding Cam, you talked last night about relatively vanilla, B, the governor that you had on him to do no harm.
Correct.
With a dramatic change coming from that, Vance Joseph not caring about his safety and the schemes you're going to see, how much, to what degree is his world about to change, and what's the degree of the test that he's now going to see?
First and foremost, very, very, very stiff test right out the gate with the defense in Denver. Very talented, very well coached. It's a good football team. It's a good test for our team in general. So, it's going to be a lot different than a preseason game, certainly. That's part of what practice is for, is to try to get as close to that preparation as possible. But, it's going to be the first time against a really good football team that he's going to play the entirety of the game. And there's going to be learning moments through the course of the whole process. But I think he's up to the task. We're ready for that challenge, and looking forward to it. But, it's definitely, there is no correlation, I don't think, in my mind, from preseason play to your regular season. There's no ability to make any prediction of what that's going to look like. Very pleased with where we're at and what we've done, but certainly the Denver Broncos present an entirely different challenge in week one.
As you continue to get Cam what he's comfortable with, the offense-wise, merged into yours, where are you now in that process?
We're probably right on it. I think we've had a lot of really good conversations over training camp and a lot of good reps invested on plays that both he's done before and that are new to him. I think we got a good solid core of plays that he feels comfortable with, and we'll keep working on things that maybe he's not, and we'll keep filling it as we go. Getting more reps on things, trying to expand the world that he's has at his disposal. So all of it's been really good. I think he feels really comfortable with where we're at. You can ask him, more directly how he feels about it. But the process has been good. The conversations have been productive, and I think we're in a good spot from a schematic standpoint on what he feels good with.
Did you go back at all and talk with Randy Shannon or any of the previous coaches?
No, I did not personally. I know Bo had some conversations with some guys, so we get that information gets brought up the chain for me. But we did our due diligence as part of the draft process evaluation and afterwards. We've talked to quite a few people. We've made sure that we've kind of covered all of our bases when it comes to his past experiences, his past systems, and things that maybe he's done well and he's liked to run. So all that stuff has been pretty well vetted at this point, and we feel good about where we're at.
The next couple of days, maybe the earlier part of this week, look like where you obviously want to move forward and start prepping, but you also have to make moves, and you have players that might not be here.
Yeah, that's always the challenge. This week's challenge is always that. The practice. You walk out there for the first time on Tuesday, and after the cut process, and there's all of a sudden it's like, where'd everybody go? There's your practice squad's not there yet. It's only the 53 guys, so it looks very different. Then you get your practice squad guys back the next day, and It still feels a little bit unique, but got to get some work done still. We don't try to jump too far ahead. We'll do a little bit of advanced prep on Denver, but you just try to use this week to kind of one more week of training camp, essentially, as far as fundamentals go and practice goes. You don't want to get too far into Denver for 2 weeks ahead. You get a little bit over analysis that goes on there. So a little small introduction, and we're just still working on trying to get better.
Curiosity on that over-analysis. Why is that the case? I think some people would intuitively imagine you start planning for week 1 in May when it gets announced. Why is that harmful to do?
It's not that it's harmful. It's just that you spend 2 weeks talking about one team, and then 3 weeks talking about one team, and then you're right in the mix, and you're doing one every week after that. There's a rhythm to it. You can spend too much time doing it. It gets a little bit stale, and you're just trying to get, just like, is this ever going to come? These 2 weeks start to slow down a little bit in a sense. But yeah, it's not harmful necessarily in any way. We've definitely done our work on Denver over the course of the summer, and we're way ahead on that, the first couple opponents as it is. So it's just more about keeping your mentally sharp and fresh, and the focus where it needs to be, especially right now. We got things we got to get better at fundamentally, and we're going to keep hammering on those things, and then we'll get the Denver prep when it's time.
Once you've got your actual 53 and you get into scout team mode where they're running their cards and everything, do you have a meeting where you talk kind of to the whole team or to the guys that are going to be frequently scout team about the mission of the scout team?
Yeah, they're really, really important roles. And, we meet with the scout team every week, and those guys, all our young coaches do. They meet with those guys on top of it to make sure that we're getting the looks that we want, that they're playing the style of play that we're going to see. That's how we get ready for games. Those guys are really valuable parts of the process, and their roles are critically important, even though it's not the role maybe they want or in the moment. And a lot of guys graduate from those roles, if you will. Huge part of us getting ready to play games is the kind of look we get from those guys running the cards in all three phases, and it's very, very important, and it's good for them to know that we're counting on them, that their game day is the practice week. That's where they're getting better. They get coached on those things, and we're counting on them to give us really good looks so we can get ready to go play. It's usually once we get probably through this week, once everything's sort of set, because there's still some fluidity that kind of occurs through this process. But usually probably towards the end of this week, early next week.
Kinsey break it down in the locker room.
Yeah.
Was that kind of maybe paying homage to all his work, not only this camp, but over the years, or?
I don't know. Truthfully, wasn't that probably that thought out. I always appreciate Mason. I appreciate the way he plays the game. I appreciate the tenacity he plays with. Those things are all. He's made a career in this league on being that, and hasn't changed one bit at any point. I enjoy Mason's perspective. I enjoy the way he plays football. I enjoy the person on top of it. So, no, nothing crazy. Just thought it was the right thing to do.
With how young this roster is, the schedule this season with no primetime games, how much does that benefit as you try to build this group?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I do think having the rhythm of the schedule, we play Sunday at noon, Sunday, and we have a couple late window games, but there is a routine that gets going when you don't have a Thursday and a Monday and a Sunday night. There's challenges inherently in those things, and those are all challenges we welcome and look forward to having in the future. But there is something about that rhythm. I think that'll help a young team. There's some consistency in the schedule. We're playing every 7 days, which does help for those guys to find that routine. So don't know if it's going to make a huge difference or not, but there is probably something to that.
Two more guys. What's the latest with Calvin, JC, and Tavondre, and how do you handle guys like that heading into the season?
Yeah, this part of this training camp's not over, but for the most part, we're trying to sort of get guys back now. I thought we had a hard camp. I thought it was physical. It's time to start bringing some legs back and getting guys fresh and ready to roll. So we'll manage that stuff. As far as those guys go, it's getting them back into it and making sure we're ready to roll. I think all those guys are tracking for week one without a ton of concern at the moment. But we'll see how the practice week goes. But it's time to get those guys back and get moving and get ready to go play football for real. So feel good about where they're all at, but we got to manage that and make sure we're doing the right things by them so they're back and ready to roll for week 1.
It seems like every time they've gotten an opportunity, Cedric or James has made a play. Is that been one of the maybe pleasant surprises of training camp to see those two guys step up?
I just think their improvement rate has been fun to watch. The competition has certainly brought out the best in both of them. They've risen to the challenge of trying to find a guy that's going to start next to Cody, and both have had really nice moments, and they made plays. They've fed off of each other in those moments for those plays. So having two young players develop the way they've developed over the course of camp and in the preseason has been really good to see. And as we all know, I mean, these guys, you're going to end up needing them somewhere along the line, and to have them both play well when given their opportunities has been really positive.
Timetable and selection of captains.
We have our captain's dinner is Wednesday, so they'll vote on that here coming up. Once we get to the roster cuts, so probably Tuesday we'll vote, and then we'll announce them at the captain's meeting captain's dinner on Wednesday. So it's coming up quick.
What's the captain's dinner?
It's the
I'll share it offline.
yeah. I'll let Ev get that for you. But yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.